Frank Mummolo describes your business as a six-cylinder high-performance engine. And the way it works is like this. So what most people start off being is good at something they do, operations, and they go into business because they're good at something generally. And it might be because they wanted to work for themselves, or they were made redundant, or they just want to be their own boss. But basically, they start off doing something they're good at. Now, if you've ever read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, you'll know that actually that's not the way to run a business, that actually the business needs to be separate to you, and it shouldn't be you doing what you're good at. It should be you're good at running a business rather than you're good at what the business does. And the six elements to the six-cylinder engine are operations, where you can get better, more efficient, become better at what you do, obviously. You've then got goals and strategy. So your goals, your personal goals, your vision and goals determine what your strategy will be for your business. So if you want your business to grow and become more valuable and provide higher income, etc., then that needs to be your business strategy. So that's the second element. Then you're only going to get there if you can actually map out what the structure of your business is going to look like and what all the roles involve, and then what the people who are employed in those roles will actually have to do, their job descriptions or role descriptions. So that's where systemization comes in. So it's organization chart, and it's then defining clearly what everyone on the organization chart does. And the great beauty of that then is that you can employ people to slot into those roles. And you don't have to employ, the best specialists out there, because you can train people to undertake those roles, and the roles are systemized, they're mapped out, they're written out, so everyone knows exactly what they're doing. So that's the third element. Now, the really important bits then to grow the business are you need to understand your numbers, and you need to be good at sales and marketing, but good at sales and marketing in a strategic way, which is basically understanding things like the buyer's journey, and the fact that there's certain things you need to include in any piece of marketing. So it's not just about sort of singing your own praises, and it's not just about cliches and phrases that don't mean anything. There's a special way to do it. But if you get these two things right, it's astonishing how much difference you can make to a business. So as an example, if we look at how many leads we generate and how many we convert, now obviously we've also got existing customers and attrition rates, so I could include them, but I might run out of room. But looking at leads and conversions, if we had 100 leads and converted 50%, we'd have 50 customers or clients. If they all bought twice on average and spent £1,000 in fees or charges or price or whatever it is you charge, pounds or euros or dollars, but 1,000, then our revenue would be 100,000. Now, if our gross margin was 60%, we'd make a gross profit of 60,000. We'd have overheads, say, of 30,000. That'd be things like rent, rates, wages and salaries, for example. And we'd end up with a net profit of 30,000. Now, if you could make a 10% improvement in each of those numbers, so you generate 110 leads, you convert 55% of them instead of 50, you'd end up with 60 clients instead of 50, or customers, clients or customers. You get them to buy slightly more often on average, and there's loads of ways to do that, loads of strategies and ideas that would work to get people to buy slightly more often. You get them to spend slightly more, so you can have differential pricing. You can have basically strategies for getting people to buy larger amounts, upsells, cross sells, etc. So you get them to spend slightly more each time. Your revenue would go from 100 to 146,000 just by making those few 10% improvements. And then your gross margin would automatically increase because your average price is higher, and we're not even looking at your costs. So even without looking at the cost, the gross margin would go from 60% to 63%. But obviously, if we could shave a bit off the cost as well, we could increase that gross margin further. But I haven't done that. So just on what we've done so far on the sales and marketing bit, gross profit goes to 63%, which is 93,000. We haven't changed our overheads, so we're not looking at them, but we've basically doubled our bottom line profit. So the lesson there is that understanding your numbers and knowing how to do sales and marketing properly in a strategic way, there's lots and lots of strategies you can employ which could actually effectively double your bottom line without making massive improvements in these key numbers. And then as your business grows, you need to employ or outsource people into jobs and roles within that organization structure here that we've already mapped out. So here now we're talking about how do you develop people to fill these roles? How do you build a team in terms of personality types, DISC, etc.? How do you train people, keep them motivated, etc.? So all of those elements are the 6 elements that go to make up a 6-cylinder business. Thanks to my ex-colleague, Frank Mummolo, for inventing the concept. I hope you found that useful. If you want to know any more or discuss it further, feel free to comment on the post or message me or whatever. Thanks very much for watching.